And what we realized really quickly was just that the narrative around AI was so focused on gloom and doom and so focused on like how do we automate everything and replace people. And Greg and I were like, this is not what we came here to do and spend 10 years of our lives doing. We came here to use AI for good and literally save people's jobs. So we decided to write the book to explain our vision of a future that's very different than most, I think, founders' visions of a future right now when it comes down to just purely capturing the economic benefits of AI. So AI for good, it's actually written in a really interesting way. So each chapter starts out with a 2035 science fiction near future story of like a day in the life of a CPO that is using AI for good, or a
Wow.
recruiter that's using AI for good, or a candidate's experience in this world. Um, and then we just reverse engineered it back to where the technology is today in 2025. And because we have a ton of like longitudinal transformation, like AI case studies, data driven, we also leveraged a lot of our data and then pulled in our head of AI to write all the technical breakouts, Evo Johnson. And so she's a genius. And so she wrote out a lot of the technical breakouts to explain the technicalities of everything that I don't fully
Wow.
understand.
I
So
cannot wait to get my hands on this book. It sounds so incredible. And let's double click on what you were talking about before, which
mhm.
is the AI agents. Can you share maybe like a use case or something, that we can kind of understand and comprehend before we get our hands on the book about how AI can really enhance the employee experience and maybe reduce turnover? Like what was one of the use cases?
Um, okay, so one of I think the most brilliant applications of the technology that we've built was with the chief people officer at a healthcare company that had extremely high turnover in their call center reps. And
Mm.
so the issue was that they had been using assessments for the last 5 years and really trying to figure out like, can assessments decrease turnover? They couldn't move the dial on it. Turnover was around 53%. And so, with 64,000 applicants a month, essentially what we ended up doing is split testing. So, we split test their 64,000 applicants. Half of them used the assessment, half of them used Upwage's AI interviewers. What we did was we built our interviewing agents and assessment agents to essentially be predictive of like high retention competencies. And just let me give, I have to give a little bit of context around the way our agents work. So we pair our agents together. They're a duo. They work together in pairs for every single role. They're customized to every role.
Hmm.
Um, the interviewer is not a chatbot. So if you think about like if you think what about a screening agent, this is like a advanced behavioral interviewer that is trained to do star probing, star interviewing, and probing and follow ups. It's incredibly emotionally intelligent to the point where we added a scoring system for candidates on the back end of the interview, and 17,000 candidates gave it a 9.02 score because they
Wow.
leave it out of 10.